I want to talk to you about the mistake I made with this brush, but before that, I'm going to have to explain this whole thing. And now I need to find the blue I was using. This guy just smells something else. Speed enamel. Okay. Self-priming satin deep base. Industrial. No wonder. Okay. So, this paint just reeks, just smells like so gnarly. The yellow is a stain, but I think everything else I have in here is just like interior, outdoor. Well, that's the stain. Like interior, exterior, acrylic, latex, acrylic paint, scuff and stain resistant, interior. Yeah, like most of it's just like interior or exterior or both, and it's acrylic latex, and it's fine. But, oh, what does that say? Surface enamel? I don't know. All surface enamel, semi-gloss. I just need to read the labels better. Not when I buy them necessarily, but how, like, before I use them. So, we'll get to that in a second, because this brush is really expensive, and I got it as a gift. And I think I've cleaned it as much as I can now. But for a while there, it was pretty touch and go. So, this is blue and this is yellow. In case you didn't know, I was listening to, still am, this episode of Joe Rogan with David Cho, and I love David Cho. He's definitely one of my favorite artists, but not necessarily for the output, more of just like philosophy and way of life. Anyway, I've listened to him on the podcast before, but this one I think was like last year, and I was listening to that, and there was this, it was just bananas. I got into a weird headspace, and mostly influenced because David Cho was in a super weird headspace, and he was talking about like the weird headspace he was in and whatever else, and I was just like, holy smokes. And there was this thing where he was talking about, like, they were talking about the podcast that he used to do, and he was just I can't think of what I don't remember now. What was I saying? He was talking about how, like, what if he was the color blue and he was, like, having a conversation with the color yellow? And he was just, like, in this space, like, what if I did that for a podcast episode? And it was like, what? Like, you're bananas. And then I started thinking about, like, doing a painting like that. Not like that. Doing a painting just titled David Cho as the color blue and conversation with the color yellow. I'm going to cover this up. So, spoiler. I'm going to cover this up, and it's not going to be blue and yellow anymore, but I wanted that as a base just to start things off. And I don't know, I think I should have picked something that was already, like, the problem is that I have this big 48x60, and I've got another big 48x60 downstairs, but they already have, like, texture and stuff on them, and the other one definitely was just not, like, I applied the texture, like, months and months ago, and I was, like, feeling in a certain mood, and it's like now, I wish I just had, like, a clean canvas, but I couldn't just go out and buy another clean canvas this big. Those were different times back then, and also they were like 2-for-1 sale stuff. But anyway, I used that paint, that blue paint. Like, I knew the yellow was a stain, but the blue one I thought was just regular. I didn't look, and it was just so crazy thick and it's smelly, and I was like, man, I ruined this brush. Like, I couldn't get the paint off. It took a really long time, and I had to dip into, like, the special brush cleaner that I've had for like a couple years and haven't used. Yeah. So it talks about cleaning oil paint, watercolor, acrylic, stains, whatever. And like I had like, it was like 50% and now it's like that. Like I used so much of it and I just had to figure out like, how am I cleaning this brush? Like I had to clean it in a different way and just like, it was a mess, man. Yeah, it's better now, and I just hope that it's clean enough that it doesn't stick. Like, it feels good now. Like, it feels good. Before, there was, like, everything was sticking. Like, there's still some chunks that I'm like, oh, man, when that dries, like, is that going to stick? I can't tell, but it's so much better than it was. But I cleaned it for, like, a half an hour straight. Just straight. So, anyway, artist things, mistakes, learning, experiences, trial and error, experimenting. So I'll try to give you a short version of that Samuel the Black Shaman sticker, but they were a band in Saskatoon in the mid 2000s, like 2004, 2005. I think they disbanded maybe 2006, but somewhere in there. And maybe they were active a little earlier than 2004, but I didn't move to Saskatoon until 2004. And I started going to shows a lot, just local shows, and they became my favorite Saskatoon band. They were just like super great live. They were just a three-piece, and they were just doing some really amazing stuff, and seemed to be very passionate about their music, and I loved that. So I got contacted because I've had one of the members on Facebook for a long time, even though we don't like connect and like have conversation or anything. But he reached out a couple days ago because he's had various musical things going on, I think, just since then, consistently, and most of it's just like solo or more acoustic based. But he has like a small group that is, I think, still based by him. Small Opera, I believe is what it's called. And he looked at my Etsy and saw some of my paintings and stuff, and he was interested in some of that. So he contacted me about having a painting be featured as like album artwork. So that's exciting. That's really cool. I really enjoy that. I haven't had any of my art featured on an album unless it was me creating the album for Destrier. And one of them was, or they were both like photograph based too. They weren't like they weren't based on a painting. So I think that's really cool. And I mean, another, like, I was thinking about book covers and stuff too, and Jordan used one of my photographs for his novel Bowery, and that was really cool. But yeah, as far as album covers go and stuff, like, I think it'd be really sick to have like a painting of mine be on an album cover. I mean, anything, whether it was a photograph or whatever. But yeah, so that's where that is, and I'm on my way right now to go to Michael's to pick up some things. He sent me some tracks, and I'm going to paint to them and see what happens, and kind of go from there. But it's definitely stuff that I have not been listening to consistently. It's much more, I don't know what to call it. It is definitely acoustic based and more like indie folky, if that makes sense. Maybe I'll leave a link to Small Opera in the description of this video. But I'm excited just to listen to it, just to chill out and just work with it, see what happens. Because again, it's stuff that I'm not used to listening to very much, if at all. And again, that'll put me in like a certain space. Like, that's why I always listen to music while I paint. I need that in order to propel whatever it is I'm working on. So it'll be interesting just because it is really different, and it will change the way that I work, because I'm not used to it whatsoever. It was kind of like, I made a painting that I really, really loved the other day while listening to Miles Davis, and I am really enjoying listening to that kind of jazz right now. I'm exploring that as a new thing, and it did push my work into a certain direction that hadn't been a thing before. So I am excited to just listen to some different stuff, chill out in the studio for a bit, and hopefully I can create something that he really enjoys. And if not, I already assured him that it'll be fine. But I mean, he was interested in other pieces already before that I already had made, so then maybe he'll choose one of those, maybe not, we will see, but I will keep you updated. So this is what I got done today, which wasn't a lot, but I do have to go. And I was hoping to start this earlier, but I didn't really have all the stuff I needed. So I actually went to Michael's. They didn't have what I needed there either anymore. They used to have 12 by 12s that were like thin profile, like this canvas, and had a lip, so they were like ready to hang. And again, they just had that thickness to them. It was like half an inch thick. They don't carry them anymore, apparently. So, but I did need small squares, and I didn't want to use canvas. I wanted to use board. So that's what I got. That's what I was left with for choice. Just these 12 by 12s that are Thin, super thin, super thin. And then, yeah, I started to do the collage thing. I was listening to the music, and I got an idea for one, and then I just drew some titles from the lyrics, and then just got into, like, colors. Actually, I did colors while I was listening. And then I started getting ideas from the lyrics while I was spray painting the backgrounds. And then I started looking through the book because I had an idea for one, which is the sailboat. And then with the other titles that kind of came up, I started looking through, and I was like, oh, I kind of have some more things I could definitely do. Started looking through the book and finding the other pieces, and now I've assigned them to each board with title. Next, I need to come back and kind of draw out the placement on here, and then paint the backgrounds more detail. And then I think the last thing I'll do is color. I don't remember how I glued those down though last time. I'm assuming it was with just spray adhesive, but I don't remember, and I'm kind of scared. Oh, no. I think I just used regular glue, but then I used like a gel medium over top that also helped just glue it all down and had a different look to it. So never mind. It's just going to be regular, like, glue stick glue, but I need to make sure it's smooth and not chunky. And then spray adhesive is great, but it's really thick and it would just destroy these. Now I'm remembering what I did, which is good. Anyway, that's what I got done so far. Trying to get over our fear of trains today. I think this is a lot closer than she was when she last didn't handle it very well. I guess they were like down there in Helen Schuler once, and the train went over and she like freaked out and was really not happy. She definitely is a little nervous now. She checked in for some reassurance a couple times and we sat for a bit, but then she was okay with coming closer, but she like wanted to turn back the other way and head back down the path. But just going for a little walk to get a little exercise while we're still healing that one leg. This is the longest train ever. Ready to keep going? Good girl. Good girl, Wren. My shadow in the way doesn't help. This is what I came up with. Listening to very soft folk indie acoustic based musics. So the gold leaf is a new element. I didn't have that on previous collage things. Also using more natural skin tones for this. The gradient backgrounds are kind of a new thing. Just every time I do these collage things are going to be a little bit different, but I'm happy with these. Once they're completely dry, because like the sun area is like really thick, that's not dry yet, then I'll put a finish on them, and that's where they are. This is a disaster. This is really messy. I am not making time to clean up right now, and I'm going to leave it the way it is. I've had a weird day. I've got some stressors, I've got some successes, but I feel like financial stressors are going to take precedent over these other successes because there's way less I can do about them. But yeah, this is a mess, and I need to go home, and I need to eat, and I need to like chill for a bit before the next day, for tomorrow, especially because I don't know what happens tomorrow. I don't know if I work or not. Anyway, but I did finish these. I put my finish on them. They are done. And I'm not sure which one is going to be album art, or if any of them are going to be album art yet. My dude is still deciding. He said that he leaned towards this one. And I tried to leave a certain amount of room to have like text for album stuff album information. This one has the least amount of room. There was more before the gold leaf, but then that got out of hand. Anyway, that's where things ended up. I like them. That's it. Wrapping up the vlog. I don't know when I'm going to get back to this piece. I don't know when I'm going to be in that place again. It's not necessarily a good place. It was kind of like a manic place, which isn't something that happens for me very often, and it was a weird, anxious time. This is like not even barely started. Like there's so much other stuff that I want to do with it. And I have a loose concept. I have a title that is directing me. I have a feeling that was directing me, but now I can't. I mean, it's not directing me if I'm not feeling it anymore. Yeah. And I'm finding it's really difficult to take pictures of my work now because I use natural light in the gallery. And by like 4:30 the other day, it was dark. Like it was just dark. And I'm finding even now by 4 o'clock, it's probably a little too dark, even though there's a little bit of light. Yeah, I'd like to use natural light from the gallery. And so I've had some pieces that I finished, I don't know how many days ago now, and I just took pictures of them. So those will go up soon. The ones that I was showing you, I just remembered, yeah, like those collage pieces. So I got some good pictures of those just before 4 o'clock, so that's good. Only other video this week is a conversation. Oh, I do this every time. Every time. What is the conversation about? It was about, I don't remember what I titled it, but it was like some breakthroughs I had after counseling, talking about like emotional energy and how to like move that around, and just things I learned about myself. Just how I process anger and how I process sadness and how they manifest and what I can do with those things. So that's the only other video this week. I can't think of anything else right now to say. Oh, you know what? I don't know if I brought this up on the vlog before, but I hear music in my dreams like frequently, like not every time. It's not infrequent. I don't know if it's frequent. I don't know what it is, 50-50. But like a lot of times I wake up with like songs in my head that were in my dream. Like this morning I woke up from a weird, not good dream, and I was like singing this song in my dream, and I woke up with that in my head, and it was like really hard to shake it. And I was telling my girlfriend this, and she was like, really? Like that's a thing? And I was like, I guess. I don't know. It's weird. But I didn't think it was weird. Like, I guess it's weird. I don't know if that's weird or not. I was just like, yeah, like I hear music in my dreams. That's just how I dream. It's one of those things that, like, I don't think I talk about dreams very often with people. And I've been surprised about how other people dream. Like, there's one person in the past that, like, really surprised me with, like, I'm like, you can choose, like, they basically got options for their dreams. And they could kind of, I don't know what kind of lucid dreaming that is, that you get options or the illusion of options. But it's bananas, and I was like, man, like I think it'd be cool to discuss with people, you know, how do they dream? What does that feel like, look like, hear like? Yeah, so that's a dream thing. But anyway, gonna try to find Wren another vet soon because the limp is getting worse with even more rest. And she's on those medications, and it's just like, what's the point when it's getting worse anyway? So that sucks, but hopefully we'll figure it out soon, and see you on another time.